it's only 69 degrees out there this morning. And obviously these guys are ready for me to get them their breakfast since I'm running on Saturday time instead of weekday time. Hi guys! I'm going to town to run errands. I'll explain more in a bit. And Don's coming with me so I don't have to park and walk far in the rain and we can take Ruby. Well, thanks for being my hero.
Oh, my pleasure, sweetie.
This way I can enjoy my shopping without getting too wet.
Right, this is minimized because it's like supposed to rain like all day.
Don downloaded Jack's video,
yep.
So probably for the 5-minute stops he won't start watching, but when I run into Guardian Angel, that'll give him something to do for a few minutes.
And that's the good thing about Jack's video, you know, it's only like a 96-minute video. You know, it's nice and short. Should give him plenty of time.
So our first stop is the UPS store. We have another Amazon return. Yeah, this is our second one in a month, and that's really unusual for us. I don't know if I told you guys that Don is sending back the Google mesh Wi-Fi system, and he got a Nano HD 1 access point from Unify that he's going to try.
Or Ubiquity or something. I forget.
Well, Unify, Ubiquity, they like have these two fancy names. Yeah.
Yeah, but the one I got is just an access point, so I'm just going to plug it into our existing router. I have an available 1 gig port available, so I'm going to just plug it into that, and we're going to go from there. This thing is supposed to, you know, have six radios in it. 4 are for the 5 gig band, and 2 of them are for the 2.4 gig band. So, you know, handle up to 200 simultaneous users. This is actually something that a coffee shop or someplace like that, this is a commercial type of access point. It's not I mean, you can certainly use it for home, but I'm just saying is that this is more of a commercial thing.
And meanwhile, Don, we'll call it a soft run of an Ethernet cable to where I sit, and that is speeding up the MacBook uploads. I think pretty comparable to what we were getting in the closet, and you know, hardwired in with the Lenovo print server guy. We're on that road over here, yeah, where they've scraped it but not paved it. Let me come back in a minute. All right, that's better. Anyway, Don ran the Ethernet cable to where I sit, but not under the house ran. So, you know, here when he gets a chance, when I'm not making him be my chauffeur going to town, he'll get that run underneath the house. With our crawl space, that's no hardship to go underneath there and do that.
Right, and we'll let you know about the router. It's supposed to get here Monday or Tuesday. I didn't do the emergency shipping because I wanted Mary Ann to try a few things before we put the access point in. And so she's been diligently going through the things. She tried the new micro SD reader. That didn't really seem to speed it up much. She tried. It's
not cutting in and out though, but it didn't speed it up much. Yeah, that's right.
It did the 5G on the current router. That kind of a little bit, and then she definitely, when she put the Ethernet jack with the wired cable, that seems to, as she said, comes close to what we could get it from the closet in the computer in the closet. And so I want her to kind of get a feel for it's about how her MacBook is either good or bad right now, so that when we put in the new access point, if it's about the same, then it's okay. But if it's better, I don't see how, but it could be, or is it worse? So I want her to kind of get used to it, get a feel for how it's actually behaving right now.
Right. I ended up putting the Apple SD card reader on the left side of the MacBook and not in the USB-C. My computer has 4 ports on the right side that I always use. And I'm wondering if that one port was partly what was giving me trouble. I'm not sure. And I checked the MacBook for malware, and I didn't get any tools to tell me there was anything going on that shouldn't be. So I don't know, but literally I got the new card reader on Wi-Fi in the typical port, and I tried to upload some stuff and it told me it would be done in 200 hours. So we put me on the Ethernet and we moved it to the left side, and then it was like down to 3 hours, which is probably reasonable for the amount of gigabytes I was trying to move. So, but if we could get it less than 3 hours, that would be good too. All right, I got Don's old Galaxy S7 turned into Sprint, which is where we actually went first. That was reasonably hassle-free. Return handled at the UPS store. Surprise to me, they close at 4 p.m. and it's going on 4. Like, I just barely got in there in time. They were fixing to close. They actually close at 4 p.m. today. We were just in time.
Oh, really?
Really. So I asked the kid in there that took my box and gave me the receipt if they box up a bunch of returns and then send that box back, and he said yes. So I figured that's what they did, and they were saving Amazon some money. Now we have confirmation. Over to Walmart because we need avocados. Avocados are one of the things Don and I are allowed to eat on this keto, Whole30, low carb, whatever you want to call it, diet. That's working for us, by the way. And we want guacamole tonight, which we can have. So I need avocados. Well, I tell you what, a girl can get used to this. The only way it would be any better, I guess, if I was sitting in the middle row and opening the Falcon Wing. Okay, now I'm upset. This has been way too many visits in a row with no Hot Wheels. Looks like they did get some new Matchbox maybe, though. Lots of avocados to choose from, but none particularly ripe. I guess I found a bag that might be okay. I told Don not long meant 15 minutes or less. I did look at the clearance racks and a few other places. I'm sure he'll see me in a second and come down off the hill and come and get me. There he goes. It is, you gotta love the Walmart parking lot on a Saturday. Poor Don, he's not used to it. I'm not sure what the Toyota driver was shooting for there, except to get in Don's way. You're just trying to get out of the way. I get it. I should have known better and gotten over on the right side. Hey, Donnie.
Pretty girl. Did you get what you needed?
I did. They have seriously put out some fall and winter clothes, sweaters, long sleeves. Yep. Wow, Johnny would love to check this out. I bought this box and there might be a couple things in it. I told Don to pick me up at the other door, but I forget that they close it early, annoyingly, and I couldn't get out it, so I think I shopped so long that he fell asleep listening to Jack's video. Call it like I see it. He is sound asleep. Good thing it's just sprinkling. Hey, Nani.
I was asleep.
I know you were. I told Dawn next time, now that I think of it, Ruby has an alarm clock. I could have just honked the horn in the Tesla app. I really didn't care about walking across the parking lot, except for I didn't want to slip in these Crocs, but I made it safely.
Good.
One last stop at Food Lion because I'm really worried those avocados are not ripe enough to make guac with. Much better selection of avocados here.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey, I got them. So Dawn's listened to the weekly Electrek podcast and they're talking about the Porsche Taycan.
I don't know.
I should listen to Fred say it again. And Don and I may have been enjoying a little bit of the conversation. Yeah, we might have been. So when I headed into Guardian Angel, an older couple saw me get out of Ruby, and the gentleman said, my grandson loves Tesla, he wants a Tesla. And I said, yeah, all the young kids know about Tesla. That's pretty understandable. And then I sat there. No, there were no benches. I stood there and talked to them for about 10 minutes before I went inside, even though the clock was ticking on Guardian Angel closing, because it was an enjoyable conversation and they had a lot of questions. Yeah, wow. Whew. The guy was really sharp for an older gentleman, and he just had a ton of questions. And I'm trying to remember now. It's one of those things where I really want to turn the camera on and go, hey, can I record you? Because I know this is going to be a great conversation and my viewers would love to listen to it. But, you know, that's not really going to fly, because then they would just clam up. But he, let's see, what did he want to know about? So he was worried about the battery pack not lasting. And I said, look, our car has got, he asked me when we'd have to replace it. And I said, probably never. And he just looked at me like, huh? And I said, well, we have an 8-year unlimited mileage warranty on our battery pack. And the newer Teslas, I think it's 8 years, 120,000 miles. And we've had the expected couple of percentage points of initial degradation over the first 2 years. Not a lot, 1 to 2%. And we're really not expecting any more. And oh, by the way, by the time we need, potentially would need a new battery after 8 years, it'll be, you know, much more streamlined to Tesla's ability to replace the battery pack. So it's the last of my worries, is whether or not we're going to really have trouble with the batteries. And that seemed to satisfy him. And then he'd heard about people going to hotels and wanting to use a destination charger, and they're all filled up either with other EVs or ice, or they're iced. And I said, you know, look, there's over 1,000, I think that's right, superchargers in the United States. There's very few reasons to have to rely on a destination charger at a hotel. It might make your traveling simpler, but it's really not that big of a deal. Just pull into a supercharger and arrive at the hotel with more charge, or yes, ask the front desk people to help. You know, Micah, on one of his trips, he called ahead of the hotel and said, hey, I'm coming, can you make sure the EV charging spot is open? They put a cone in the charging spot. When Micah got there, he moved the cone and he backed in. Isn't that pretty much what happened, Donnie? Yeah, on his way to Disney out in the Midwest. I think that's a great idea. Hey, I'm going to be there in 4 or 5 hours. Can you make sure, you know, I'm really going to want to use that charger tonight? I don't think an ICE destination charger or a slow destination charger is a reason to avoid a Tesla or any other EV for that matter. And you know, he wasn't negative. He just, you know, he had really careful questions. So even at Guardian Angel, I stopped to talk to people about how great Tesla is and why they should get one. That's right. You know, and I always save the clincher for the wife who probably does the grocery shopping. I don't mean to gender stereotype, but you know, it's really probably for true about leaving the air conditioner on while you go in the grocery store in the middle of the summer, and how you can come out to your car and the car's cool and your groceries don't get hot on the way home. That's a thing to remember, especially when you're trying to sell to the shopper of the family, whether that be a man or a woman, that, you know, you and the groceries will be comfortable when it's 100 out in North Carolina in the summer. So yeah, there was that too. It
works just as well in the winter. You could leave the heater on. It costs you a little bit more in the winter, but I mean, really, when your average day is 60 or 70 miles maybe, who cares? You waste 30 miles, maybe 40 miles on heat and or air conditioning by leaving it on. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, and it's not really costing me that much for air conditioning.
$1?
Air conditioning, and I leave it on regular. Quite. You would think I had a dog or a cat or a pet or somebody in the car, because well, Don told me I could, and I like the convenience. When Michelle and I shop on Tuesdays, we don't like to let the car get hot. Michelle will even remind me, hey, you're going to turn on the air conditioning while we're out of the car, right? And I'm like, thanks for the reminder.
I want them to add the feature where climate always on stays on. I mean, that when you put it in park and you lock the car,
and you're not at your house,
and you're not at your house, that's right, that it automatically does climate on. Because while you're sitting there parked and you're sitting there, like I was up there waiting for her in Guardian Angel, I don't want it to bump it up to 80 degrees, but when we park it, especially in the summertime, We bump it up to 80. That still keeps the car super nice and comfortable. It doesn't get stinking hot. But, you know, then the air conditioner doesn't have to run like full blast all the time. I think that if that should be it. And then if I don't want the car to do that, I'll pull up the phone app and turn it off.
Yeah. Really, I told him, I said, you really got to be careful to everything you listen to out there, because the oil companies want Tesla to fail and the car dealers want Tesla to fail. Now, the car dealers, it's because they want to make their money off maintenance, and electric cars don't have enough maintenance. And that's where we got into the talk about the tires. And I said, you know why big oil wants Tesla to fail? Because there's a lot of money in people buying gasoline. I said, so be really careful about what you hear out there and what you believe to be real. I think Tesla's just fine. You know, yeah, anyway.
Well, they're close. I mean, they have made a little money, but Elon has promised to be profitable by the end of this year. And look, they may be struggling to be profitable by the end of this year, but honestly, I think the Model Y is going, I mean, first of all, the Model 3 is phenomenally successful. But honestly, for an American buyer, what on earth would, you know, there's going to be at least twice the volume for Model Y. So, and I'm sure outside the US it's going to be almost as popular, because it's the right size car. It's why everybody's doing CUVs. You know, I said before, you know, Tesla's a smart company. I guess they did the Model 3, but I would have did the Model Y before the Model 3. I would have never did the Model 3 first. I'd have done the Model Y.
Yeah, I think we should tweet Elon, several of us, and just say, look, don't mess up on the Model Y. Make sure it has an automatic lift gate. Make sure it's, you know, it's powered. Don't mess that up. It's the only way I think they could mess up the Model Y would to be not to have the lift gate be powered.
Yeah, and also if they're going to try to do this super low cost Model Y, you know, like they had they wanted the $35,000 Model 3, which they technically did. If you're really going to go for that low price point, now that you went through the fiasco of trying to decontent a Model 3, which turned out to be impossible to do, start with that, what you would actually do differently if you were going to do a decontented Model Y. And I don't recommend you do that, but if you're going to do it, because, you know, I see that the premium interior on the Model 3 should have came with a liftgate. I mean, it's premium interior. The early Model S had, when you upgraded the interior, you got the liftgate, and if you didn't do that, then you didn't get the liftgate. I mean, there are Model 3s that do not, I mean, Model Y S's that do not have liftgates. You had to option up to get the liftgate. Well, do that with the Model Y. Maybe leave it so that the bare bone ones. But like I said, you know, I'm not faulting them. I mean, I think the Model 3 is an amazing car. I'm just, you know, I'm not as flexible as I mean, I noticed it with the Model S. You know, that getting in and out of the Model S, I could do it. I could get in and out of the Model 3, but I'm not getting any younger. And in 5 years from now, I would probably appreciate the ease it is to getting in and out of the Model X. I mean, it's no problem whatsoever for me to get in and out of the Model X. And I'm anticipating, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I can get in and out of the Model Y just as easily.
Well, he better be able to get in and out of the Model Y okay, or I'm going to be pushing for that Model S again.